What's up, guys? It's Luke W. coming back at you again today with another video. I'm greeted by an awesome guest that also is a Seattle native, Beau Crabill, and we're going to let him introduce himself here in just a minute. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of his online business model while selling on Amazon, and also in comparison to kind of the private label route. So, Beau, can you let us know what you're doing to sell on Amazon and a little bit of your background?
Yeah, so my name is Beau Crabill. I grew up in the Seattle, Washington-ish area. I've been an entrepreneur, I guess, since I could think. I started selling online since I was 12. I know that kind of sounds a little hard to believe, but I started out in eBay where there's a time when these Nike Elite socks became really popular and I kind of saw a market for them. I bought them, dyed them different colors, sold them to kids at school for 2 to 3 times as much, and listed them on eBay after I got shut down from the principals at school. And as soon as I listed them on eBay, I was doing amazing numbers, like $2-3 grand a month. And right then and there, I was like, wow, there's money to be made with selling things online. And for every single day after that, I just studied so much on what ways I can do to make money online by selling products, just mostly on eBay. I was doing private label actually back then. I was doing a bunch of arbitrage, drop shipping, just every single thing you could think of, until I got to the point where I found this business model called, what now I call it today, online retail. It's where I'm selling name brand products. So I'm not creating up these products at all. I'm not creating listings for them, and they already exist, they're already in demand. So you can think of like Canon, Sony, Samsung, Apple products, Hasbro, Mattel, things that if you walk into a normal store like Walmart or you see on commercials, you'll see. And what I do is I buy them low, and I buy them from suppliers that just offer them at wholesale prices. They're like distributors and wholesalers, and I just sell them for more on Amazon. And with the process, I'm still using FBA, so still let Amazon do the work on that. And that's pretty much it. I'd say you need to know on my background and kind of my business model.
That's great, Beau. So I want to dive into that a little bit deeper for the subscribers that are watching, because they may not be as familiar with online, retail as they are with private labeling, because that's what I like to cover on my channel. So can you give us kind of some of the pros and cons of online retail, and then we can even talk about pros and cons of private labeling too, so the viewers can see a safe route to get started in any of their online business ventures. So some of the pros and cons.
So I would say one of the biggest pros in the online retail business model, specifically for private label people watching this, is that you're not having to market, brand, or create any listings at all. So in the private label world, this would actually be called hijacking. So let's say I see Madden NFL 19 for the Xbox One. If I see that on Amazon, there should only be one listing for it, one ASIN. If there's multiple ASINs, then that means those sellers didn't know what they were doing. And all I got to do is put my units in stock on that, under that same exact ASIN. But since I'm buying from legit authorized suppliers, I'm allowed to go do that. So the first thing I would say pro is you're not having to market or brand, and you can get sales right away. And that's going to lead to a con where it's typically going to be lower margins and more, I would say, upfront capital for this business to get started.
So upfront capital to get started. I know with private label, there's a lot of upfront capital as well. You need to invest in product, and you need to do the research before you get it in there and do all that upfront work, creating your listings. That's the pro with private labeling, is you got to do all that work, that marketing, getting those reviews and all that. But in the end, some of the pros with that is that you can actually have kind of your own brand that you're building, and actually a nice asset. So when you said you need more money to kind of get started with that, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so when I say more capital invest, I'm really meaning more it's really on your variable. But I would say at a minimum, $500 is what you need for working capital. But I more suggest on the lines of about $2,000 or so, because many suppliers you work with, they have things called MLQs, which you're probably very familiar with when working with suppliers in Alibaba. But with these United States suppliers, the bare minimum MLQ you'll see is $250, $500. But it's going to be more realistic because many are going to have MLQs of $1,000, $1,500. Some have up to $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. But $2,000 is a realistic starting point.
So another thing that he just mentioned is that he's actually working with domestic suppliers, whereas we're working a lot of times to have people customize our products. It's going to be on Alibaba. They're overseas, which is going to lead to us maybe making more profit margins in the aspect of, you are able to order the product for a lot cheaper. But I mean, his thing has a lot of different kind of safety nets with it, because you're able to list on a listing that's already existing. Are there any other pros and cons that you could think about?
Yeah, I would say one pro I definitely see is that there's less variables, which you could potentially lead that to being less risk. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're buying low and selling higher. You're not marketing, you're not branding, you're not adding any value to the product. What you're doing is you're just buying in bulk at a lower cost, so you have to buy multiple units at a time, and buying at one price, selling for higher. And that's your only variable right there. Now, obviously, that's assuming you know how to do product research and understand the history of the products and the sales volumes. So I'd say that is one huge pro about that, is that that's the one variable that actually helps the business be very consistent. Because if you can find one product that maybe makes you a few $100 a month, right? You can start reordering that over and over and over again. So maybe a few $100 a month might be $3,000 in a year's time. And if you find 12 products like that, that's $3,000 a month. So it really helps to kind of build a consistent source of cash flow going if you do it the right way.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, Beau's going to be able to be giving you guys a lot more information if you want to check his channel out. I'll leave it linked right down below, the top link in the description of this video. And he also has a course on teaching how to basically start the whole Amazon FBA business model where you are doing online retail. So to conclude this video, I just want to ask Beau one more time, like, is there any kind of advice for new sellers, like FBA route, I mean, well, the private label route or the online retail route? Like, what makes sense? Because I like to, I mean, almost jump in as doing retail arbitrage. I mean, it's kind of what you're able to do is find products low and just sell high and list on listings already existing. That's a great way to test out how it works, how Amazon works, and but what would you recommend as advice for new sellers? Yeah,
so obviously I have a big bias because right now all I talk about is selling name brand products with the online retail business model. However, I have private labeled, I've done arbitrage, I've done drop shipping, and everything you can think of for a very long time. But what I definitely notice is a common core with beginners who are wanting to get started is they don't educate themselves enough. So, because the biggest thing at the end of the day, right, all I do is buy low, sell higher, so you need confidence for that. To build confidence, you need to have actual education that you're learning from and take action on that. So it's actually going to lead two things. One, educate yourself very well and actually take action, because most people who watch YouTube videos, like for example, I have 17,000 subscribers as we're talking. I will guarantee that I have maybe a fraction of those actually people that sell on Amazon. So the biggest thing is take action, educate yourself, and you're going to set yourself up way bigger than most other people. So hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, so that's a great video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it, and definitely check out Beau's channel. He's really offering a lot of kind of help and everything that you guys could desire if you're looking to get into that type of business model. So without further ado, we're going to conclude this one, but we hope to see you guys later in the next videos. And if you want to drop any comments or anything or reach out to Beau, he'll be more than likely jumping in on the comments on this video as well on my channel. So thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep.
Peace out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on here, Luke. And yep, feel free to ask me any questions you want.
All right. Later, guys.